Hi, welcome to SBRForum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our regular NBA Conference update show that we do with Jordan Sharp. We just got finished discussing the Eastern Conference. Now we're going to move on to the Western Conference. Jordan, thanks for being back with us.
Pete, it's always a pleasure once again, man. I saw that you're nice and shaved. You're nice and shearing. It looks nice on you, man. I like it a lot.
No, the ladies do like that. The ladies do prefer a guy with if you got a bald spot on top, you just in almost all cases, unless you look, I guess if you look like a mutant when you shave your head, then maybe there might be something else that you should do. But in most cases, just shave it off. Absolutely.
It's the bald look is coming back, man. I think the ladies are liking it. You know, it's starting to make a comeback. So rock it while you can, man.
Oh, I'm rocking it. I'm rocking it. Okay, let's talk about the top two teams. Let's start out with the top teams in the Western Conference, the Clippers and OKC. Both have been great bets overall on the year, but both have also slipped a bit recently, both straight up and against the spread. OKC is 18-12 against the spread on the year, but only 2-4 over their last 6, and the Clippers are 20-13 on the year, but only 1-3 in their last 4. So at this point in the season, who's the best team in the West, and who might be a better bet or maybe even a good fade going forward?
I'm going to say right now, I think I'm still ready to say that the Thunder are still the best team straight up in the Western Conference when it's going to be all said and done. But as I wrote in my Power Rankings article this morning, the gap is narrowing by the day. The Clippers are starting to become better. The Spurs are playing much better recently. They're another team that's right up there for the top spot in the West, as well as the Thunder. Right now, the Thunder, I think, still have the slight edge. But those two teams that I just mentioned are narrowing the gap and could threaten the Thunder for the #1 spot this year. However, I'm going to say against the spread, I really think the Spurs are going to be the team that's going to continue. We're going to get into this a little bit more in one of the other questions. But the Spurs right now, I think, are going to be the best bet against the spread in the future. I think the Thunder are going to start becoming like the Heat, where the Heat are, I think, right at 500 against the spread on the season. And the Clippers, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, and I think we mentioned that they're going to slow down sometime soon. And we did say that their schedule was a little bit easier over the last 2 weeks, but I think theirs is going to start getting harder. They're going to start having some more road games. They're going to eventually start becoming a fade. But I do like the Spurs as a good bet against the spread. They, I think, are also the only team that I'm ready to say are going to be able to challenge the Thunder for that top spot in the West.
All right, well, let's move on to the Golden State Warriors. Now, this team is a team that they've been winning, and they've also been greatly undervalued. They're 20-11-1 against the spread at the moment, and this team has the smell and the feel to me of a team that might be, undervalued the entire season long. I actually think they might be a good, their record might not be, they might not have a world-beating record, but I think, I would be willing to bet that they're going to be significantly over 500 even starting now going forward against the spread.
I'm ready to give my seal of approval to the Golden State Warriors, both straight up and against the spread. This team has debunked every bit of concern over the last 2 months that I have had of this team. They've started to play better defense among Mark Jackson, and they can score the ball at will on most given nights. And at home, like the Denver Nuggets have been, they've just been almost a complete lock against the spread at home this season. They're right now 5th in the West. I don't know if they're going to stay there, but they shouldn't finish lower than 6th in the Western Conference with the way they're playing. David Lee is having another outstanding season. Stephen Curry, if he can stay healthy, he is still playing at an extremely high level, and they're getting contributions from guys that you really don't expect them to, and it's just putting them in games every night with the way they're scoring the basketball. I think, as we said, they're going to start dipping a little bit against the spread, but at home, it's just lay the money, man, because they are extremely good at cashing at home right now. I'm ready to say that they are a legitimate contender in the Western Conference, at least for home court advantage in the first round. I think they could legitimately come up with a 4 seed if the Memphis Grizzlies start to slip.
All right, let's talk about the top 4 teams in the West. All of them have been covering at about 60%. Very impressive. Of those 4 teams, which do you think might continue to be a good bet going forward?
I think as I said, we talked on this just a little bit earlier, but I think the 2 teams that you're going to have to start to fade because of how much hype they've gotten over their long winning streaks are the Thunder and the Clippers. The Clippers, you've already started to see it. I mean, at home now, I doubt they're going to be, any less than a 4 or 5 point favorite against most any team. You're going to see that with their game against the Lakers coming up here on Friday night. But The Clippers, they're after that big winning streak and all the hype they've been getting from the national media, they're going to start being a fade. I think the Thunder, the books are starting to learn that they are, in fact, going to continue covering, so they're going to have to inflate those lines. But the Memphis Grizzlies and the San Antonio Spurs, as I mentioned previously, I think are going to continue to be good bets against the spread. Why? They're always undervalued, and they're small market teams. I don't understand what the books do, why the books follow what I think would be a public move as to undervalue small market teams, especially at home. I don't know why they're doing it. They might correct it, but until we see otherwise, I think the Grizzlies and Spurs are going to continue to be really good bets against the spread.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. And now let's finally just talk about the Lakers, perennially overvalued team. This year they're again under 500 against the spread to date. And I have to think going forward, looking ahead to the rest of January, there's no way they're going to be over 500 against the spread, is there?
I don't think so. I mean, I really don't. Their ability to play defense is just absolutely gone. I mean, Kobe said it perfectly the other night. He said they're an old damn team, and that's perfect. I mean, it's exactly right. They can't play defense. Their only real defensive presence is Dwight Howard, and he can't really do as much as he normally has because he's not really a focal part of their offense. So it seems like he's disinterested most nights on the offensive end. They don't give him touches at all. And it's like, even if this team can score 105 points a night, if you're giving up 105 points, you're going to be right at the 500 mark and not be very good. And that's exactly what the Lakers have become. I still think they're going to sneak into the playoffs. They're going to find that 8 seed, but no, I don't even want to touch the Lakers at all. I don't even care if they're going to become a good bet here in the future. They might go on a great run against the spread here in the future. I don't care. I'm not touching them. There's just way too much uncertainty with this team. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, as you know, and the Lakers and the Bulls are in the same category. Favorite line from Forrest Gump, they're both like a box of chocolates because you don't know what you're going to get on any given night. Just don't even touch them because you're going to save yourself a lot of headaches in the future.
Great insights once again, Jordan Sharp. Thanks, and we'll talk to you again in a couple of weeks.
All right, thanks, Pete. It was always good talking to you, man.